We're here at Killy Keene, which is part of the Erne system, and today we've got Baz Smith fishing. We've also got Francis McGoldrick fishing. So they're both using different methods. So Francis runs one of the top pub restaurants in the area, and certainly I can vouch for that because I've had the best steaks I've ever had there. So that's part of what he does, but he's also one of Ireland's top match anglers, and he's fishing the Waggler today. So I'm just going to go and have a chat with Francis and find out exactly what he's doing and how he does it. You're getting a fish a chuck at the moment, Francis?
Yeah, it just started about 10 minutes, and what I'm doing is I'm loose feeding reasonably heavy.
Yeah.
And the roach are responding. Where I'm fishing at the moment is about 12 foot deep, and I'm fishing about 6 foot, so I'm loose feeding, the fish are coming up, and to be honest, the hybrids and roach preferably would prefer to be up in the water in warm weather like this, so it's a really enjoyable way to sit fishing.
So you're actually only fishing about half depth then, really?
That's exactly what I'm fishing there, in about 12 foot of water.
Right.
And every time I cast out, I'm putting in a pouch full of casters, fishing a maggot and changing between a maggot and a caster.
It's a pretty light setup as well, I've noticed that.
Yeah, but the hybrids are inclined to be a little bit weary.
Right.
But they do prefer to come up in the water. So it's a beautiful way to fish. It's nice and comfortable. Not watching the field, you're watching the float. So certainly very, very enjoyable way to fish.
Yeah, you've got that float well shot down as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's very sensitive. Them.
Yeah.
Hopefully the hybrids, the bigger hybrids, will start to come on the feed shortly.
It's just watching that float go. Takes you back to when you were a kid,
That's
I
what I
think.
think. If you want a nice, lazy, enjoyable day, why not bring a Waggler out?
Yeah.
Like, as you can see, that's
nice fish.
quality roach, beautiful condition.
Quality, aren't they?
I've never seen a hook before.
How do you know when the hybrids have moved in? Do things change a bit?
Yeah, normally if we're catching roach like that, you'll normally get a dead time. Nothing will happen. The fish will kind of stop back in there because they're a little bit weary. Everything will stop for a little while, and you think maybe it's pike or that, but normally hybrids have come in.
Right.
And then, bingo.
Yeah.
They're on.
Species-wise, what would you expect to catch in a day's fishing here? If you could really get the fish going, what would you expect?
The average nets here would be around 60, 80 pound. That's what most anglers would expect to catch, with maybe 20 pound of roach and the rest made of hybrids.
Great sport, isn't it?
Ah, marvellous.
And we've had a really, really hot, dry summer this year. And has that affected the way you fish and the areas and the distance you fish?
Totally. What's happened is, because we get this really extreme warm weather, is the fish are inclined to come in very, very close. The bream don't want to be in the deep water. All the fish want to be in the relatively shallow water. That's why today I'm prepared to fish up in the water for the roach and the hybrids. And that's what we're finding, that the roach are coming in very, very close. Like in a lot of places, they're catching them 6, 8 metres out. That's how close they're coming.
Blimey, we were here last year when it was a lot cooler, the levels were up, and we were having to go sort of 40 metres out to actually get fish.
No, this year it's been totally different. All the fish have come in really, really close. And what's happened in effect is that there's very little fish out in the deep water. So you're getting a bigger concentration of fish close in, so the weights are a lot bigger and the fishing's a lot better. And that's why all over Ireland this year you're seeing all these big match weights coming, and everybody's having really good fishing, provided to go to the shallower places, not going to the really deep places that they previously would have went to.
Right. So it's important for people who are travelling and coming for their fishing holidays to sort of pick people like your brains to find out what's happening, rather than just go and do the same old thing they've always done.
Definitely, because the weather, fishing's so weather variant over here, you really need to know what's happening at the time when you come over, where the fish are, whether they're in deep water, they're in shallow water, what they're doing. Because people will find from experience that the fish move around a lot over here. And certainly when the weather's like this, it's probably the best fishing we can get. It's ideal conditions for us over here is when the fish are coming into the shallows.
Right.
Because we have a combination of everything's in there.
I've noticed as well, you don't leave your bait out there very long. If nothing's happening,
no, because because I'm fishing about 6, 7 foot and I'm fishing on the drop, I'm hoping to catch the fish as the bait's going through the water.
Right.
And I'm kind of dripping in all the time, putting a little bit of bait in on top of them.
So most casts, you're just loose feeding, a few maggots, no ground bait?
No ground bait at all, because I'm trying to catch, the hybrids really aren't into ground bait. Hybrids like loose feed. That's
Right.
what they're into. They like the caster, they like the maggots. So you better loose feed and catching them up in the water. That's where they're comfortable. And I mean,
bigger?
Totally. And I mean, this is what's going to happen. We'll start getting a better stamp of roach, and then the hybrids are going to move in. And once we keep feeding constant, they'll keep coming.
Right.
If we're fishing, put in ground bait in a place like this, there's a massive head of small fish,
Yeah.
small perch, small roach, everything else. So you're definitely going to attract the smaller fish into your ground bait. So it's very important to have loose feed. Even if you want to put in ground bait and you're hoping to catch bream with that, have a certain area where you're going to still loose feed,
Right.
and a better chance of catching them much bigger hybrids, because there's no doubt about it, them bigger hybrids, the easiest way to catch them is with the loose feed casters.
See, people do need to rethink things, don't they, from what they used to do years ago when they came over with lorry loads of ground bait.
Yeah,
It's a thing of the past then, really.
it is. Well, the bream are still here, and bream is a different type of fishing, but when you're fishing for the hybrids, it's very important that the hybrids really do like the loose particles. That's what they want to go for, and they're catching them, I say, most of the time they're off the bottom. That's what they prefer to feed.
Right.
So you've got to constantly be putting in food into them all the time to keep them happy.